Hey there, Taurus. Welcome to your reading for mid-July 2023. We're just going to jump right in here, Taurus. You have this Uncharted Sea card and this Close Encounters card. This Close Encounters card is like a card, well, it can be a card of like freedom, setting yourself free. Well, I'll show you in a minute, but I feel for pretty much everyone that if you go into uncharted territories, you will be set free. I mean, that's like literally the astrology as far as I'm concerned. It's like, I've been saying it since 2020 that everything you want is on the other side of something you've never done before. The only problem is that, there's a lot of astrology that I think kind of makes the unknown a little bit more scary feeling, even though it actually isn't. So, I feel like we just have to kind of try new things. And I talk about this all the time because it's literally the only thing we need to focus on. It's like I don't need to get on here and talk to you about your bozo egghead ex. I don't need to get on here and tell you that money is coming in. We can just cut all the middle stuff out, right? You can just skip to the end, right? Not of this video. But I'm saying you can skip to the end of all that and you can just, focus on making yourself the best version of yourself and also stepping into uncharted territory and, building something new in your life, whether it's a new business, a new career. I would say that there should be some sort of like an element of play that happens in whatever it is. It should be something that maybe, it doesn't have to be a passion-based business, but there maybe should be an element of passion in whatever it is that you're thinking about doing, if it's like starting a business or getting a career or something like that. And then everything else will follow. Again, I'm out here, I'm trying to get people to level up to that point, because then you'll just attract people who are already doing that instead of people who are going to get left behind. So, it's like love doesn't matter, none of that matters. All that matters is you, right? And not in a selfish way, just in a way that you just need to work on yourself. And again, I feel like you already know what to do. Knight of Pentacles says you already know like what to work on. He has these oak leaves on his helmet, and the oak leaves in the tarot represent knowledge and wisdom. So it basically just says he knows exactly what he needs to work on. But he's not getting started. He's overthinking everything. I think some of you could be caught up in too many details. You have this Close Encounters card. Again, I wanted to show you this. It's kind of like saying that your transformation is outside of that, that cage that butterfly is in, but that butterfly could easily like fold up its wings and step outside of that cage. So I think that for a lot of you, that it could be like fear of the unknown with this card that is maybe holding you back a little bit at this time. You also have the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands is about being bold, being assertive, really going for what you want. She has this sunflower right there that's pointing towards the sun. And it literally just represents moving towards your happiness. Everybody gets the Queen of Wands right now. And also, you have to not care what people think. You have this black cat right here. And during the times of tarot, black cats were considered very unlucky. And yes, I understand that in 2023, they are not unlucky anymore. I understand that. I'm talking about during the times of tarot for you cat ladies out there. chrisscatfood.com, right? Shameless plug. But what I would say here is, again, I feel like for a lot of you, this is saying you need to not care what people think. That's the whole point. She has the black cat because she likes the cat. She doesn't care what anyone thinks about it. So, again, I feel like this is true for everyone right now, that to set ourselves free, we have to do things and not care what people think. And also, I also feel that if you're doing something and people can't see your vision, chances are you're on the right track. I would say if you're experiencing more resistance from like other people, as in they have something to say about what you're doing or whatever, chances are you're on the right track. You have the Three of Pentacles here. Three of Pentacles says teamwork makes the dream work. Again, we are in a time of co-creation, as I always say, so anything you do to work with other people would be a great idea. I would also be careful of people who are kind of, sucking you down here. A couple of signs have been getting this message recently, like all of a sudden, it's kind of come out of nowhere in the reading. So I always, as a reader, I always pay attention to those energies where, I would just be careful of who you surround yourself with. Again, if you have people who are super negative or who talk down to you or whatever, it might be a good time to put up boundaries, right? We literally go up to the Nine of Wands there, and the Nine of Wands is all about having boundaries. With the the Knight of Pentacles here, I'm using the Lenormand to clarify, by the way. You have the Birds. The Birds is a card of communication. It's also, funny enough, it's a card of gossip. So again, you could be worrying about people talking about you. I definitely got that feeling. Maybe you're not like directly worried about what people will think, but maybe you're kind of worried what people will think. But I just wouldn't worry about it. With the Queen of Wands, you have the dog. The dog is a card of companionship, and it's a card of like friendship as well. It's also a card of something that's very loyal. It is interesting. I do feel there could be someone who's very loyal coming in for you. This could be love, but I also feel this could be just, like a mentor or a person who guides you here with the Three of Pentacles. So take it how it resonates. I don't feel like this is only love. Again, I feel like this could be a person who really is just a person who helps you on your path, or a person who has good ideas. I am getting that it could be a soulmate, but our soulmates, like our children can be our soulmates, our brothers, our sisters, our aunts, uncles, people who are close to us, they can also be soulmates. So what I would say here is it could be a soulmate, but it might just be a person like who's part of your family or something. And again, I feel, if you have a person you look up to or who guides you, very good. Look, with the Three of Pentacles, you have the clouds, and the clouds is a card of confusion, but I literally feel this is saying to get out of confusion, Three of Pentacles. Like if you don't know what to do, if you don't know what your next steps are, again, don't be afraid to ask for help. But I also feel that there could be a person who is helping you. I feel like there is a person who can help guide you as well. Next, you have this card that says, give up too easy. If you quit before the miracle happens, you'll never get to see the victory. There you go. You have this stagnation card. Things aren't moving forward. Delays in action, unchanged. Go inward and develop a vision. Yeah, you have the star card. Everybody gets a star card right now again. Pluto going into Aquarius at the end of the year, beginning of next year. And I always say that really, I encourage everyone to have some sort of vision. And again, you don't have to have like some sort of big purpose or anything like that. I would just like pick one thing that you feel is important to you, and I would start working on it. Could be anything. Could be a business. Could be just bringing more fun, more love into your life. Someone asked me an interesting question the other day. They said, I don't remember the question exactly, but I did save the question because I want to do a video on it, and I will do a video on this. But they basically said, how do you know if you're working towards the right thing in the first place? And I always say, my thing is that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're working towards your true purpose or not. What matters is that you get started, right? You will be led to your purpose as long as you are moving forward. I truly believe that people just need to pay attention to the signs, symbols, synchronicities. How many people go to a job that they hate? I always tell people, if you're going to a job you hate, then you are not on your purpose, right? Then you are creating resistance for yourself. So you have two choices. You don't have to quit the job. You can actually just change your attitude about it, right? Number two, you could quit and go do something that you truly want to do. But most people come up with like a lot of excuses as to like why they can't do that. Like, oh, I have a family and all this other stuff. I get it. Those are very legitimate, but those are also, again, my favorite book of all time, Speaking of Resistance, The War of Art. He says those reasons why you tell yourself you can't do something are probably exactly the reason you should. So, chew on that for a minute there, Taurus. But, I would get moving here. You have the Three of Swords. Again, I feel like you have to face some sort of fear. You have the Three of Swords, Five of Pentacles, and the Death card, feeling like you can't do something, Five of Pentacles. So feeling left out in the cold, feeling like you don't have the resources. I feel like you need to be careful of like shared misery as well. It's popping into my head. So again, if you have a person who's miserable around you or something like that, you might need to kind of like change that situation. There's another book popping into my head that I'm not going to remember. I think it's Positive Self-Talk. I think that's what it's called or something like that. But in that book, maybe you need some positive self-talk. There are like a million videos on YouTube about where people just like talk positive words, right? Literally. I bet if you search that, you would probably find it. If you search positive self-talk, you'd probably find it. But, again, if you're around a miserable person all the time, maybe you need to play some positive self-talk in the background, right? But I also feel, again, you need to start lifting yourself up here and taking back control. You have the Death card. The Death card is a card of a transformation. So I do feel there is a really solid transformation coming in for you with the star. It's like you're moving towards something that you're going to be working on here, something that's like important. This could be a goal, wish, or dream. I do feel also some of you could be going through a healing process. I feel like you're healing deep stuff. Like this is not just like a little heartbreak that you're healing here. For a lot of you, I feel you could be healing, deep soul wounds or, this could even be money blocks, like things like that. And I'm pretty sure I said this to you in your most recent reading before this one. So, if I did, I don't really remember, but if I did say that to you, I definitely feel this is true for you. It's like it's not just like, this is not just a heartbreak. That's not how it's popping into my head. And I actually don't think this is a bad thing either, because look, you are literally going from Three of Swords to the Star to the Ten of Cups. So it's like whatever healing work that you're doing or whatever kind of like blockages are being triggered at this time, I feel like you are healing these things for a good reason so that you can improve your life, Taurus. Look at this. With the Three of Swords, you have the heart. The heart is about like love, passion, things that bring passion into your life. It could be love coming in for you. And again, we have the Page of Cups here. Definitely could be a water sign or just love coming in for you in general. But I also feel that, again, you have the Three Swords and that heart on the Three of Swords, but then you have the heart. So I kind of feel like you are healing yourself. Again, more passion, bring more passion into your life. There's another book, The Sovereign Individual. In that book, they talk about how in the future, it's a little bit of a dense read, but actually I think it's a great book because it predicted a lot of things that are happening right now. But in that book, they say that in the future, work will be play. So basically, they predict that people will probably turn things that they love to do into work, and we see this already. It's like there are kids that make millions of dollars a year playing video games, right? It's like we are already seeing how this is a truth. And again, there will be more of that. So if there's something that you're passionate about, I would do it and turn it into a business. It might take time, but, it could be very successful. You have the Rider. The Rider is like a knight in shining armor, so we actually have a knight in shining armor twice, here. This could be just an admirer as well, so if you're looking for love, definitely could be love coming in for you here. With the Death card, you have the Sun. The Sun is a really good card as well. It's a card of success, victory. It's kind of similar but different to the Sun in the tarot. It's more like a card of good fortune. It can also represent fame. Whenever I have like the Sun and the Star in a reading, to me that is fame and fortune. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to become famous, but whenever I have these attention cards, again, we are in a time of attention. Attention is going to be the currency of the future as well, as I always say. So, but we want to get positive attention. We don't want to, get negative attention. We want to also make sure that what we are providing is quality, right? Quality is going to stand out. It's like everybody's worried about AI. I always get these comments about AI, but I always say it's like, okay, what AI produces is garbage. you know what I mean? It's like I've been messing around with AI for well over a year now. I started with OpenAI. And it's like some of it is helpful, but for the most part, if you compare an article, for example, that's written by AI compared to a human, I mean, it's night and day different. So I'm not saying that it won't eventually get to the point where it's going to be good, but there are certain things that I always encourage people to do with AI. I'm like, AI can't have human experiences. So even if you want to be a writer, for example, and you're worried that AI is going to take your job, it's like AI can't have a human experience. It can't apply your experience, which is what people want and will want. So, don't be afraid to start some sort of business that you're worried is going to get taken over. It's definitely popping into my head here. Next, you have this Strength card here, and I feel like you've been very patient. You have this Details card. I actually feel like you're too worried about the little details, so I feel like you need to get away from the details and, stop worrying about all the little things. Again, it's like so many people have asked me about YouTube, but they're worried. Again, I get emails all the time from people that are like, I want to start a channel, but everybody's creating videos with AI. I'm like, we're not even there yet. It's like you're worrying about something that's years down the road, and it's like, but a lot of people worry about things that are way far in the future, where if you just got started now, it wouldn't even matter. So just get started. I also feel some of you could be, again, if you are working on a big project, or if you're working towards a North Star with the Star card, that you could be making it overcomplicated. So be careful of overcomplication energy going on here. You have the Nine of Wands, the Star, and the Page of Cups. Again, I kind of feel like you could be, some of you definitely could be giving love one last shot here with the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands is a card of kind of, not giving up, giving something another chance. So I feel like some of you, this is encouraging you to give something like another chance or another shot. So don't be afraid to try new things, and, don't be afraid to not give up on something like love or whatever. You could also not be giving up on your Star. The Star is like wish fulfillment, happiness, something good coming in for you. So definitely something I would pay attention to here. Star is total fulfillment, so I do feel there could be a lot of fulfillment coming in here. You have the Page of Cups. Page of Cups, of course, could be an admirer. So I do feel for a lot of you, there could be like an admirer or secret admirer coming in for you. I also feel this could be a dream. He's got that fish in that cup, and I always say that fish might not be real. It might be, we don't know. That's why I say, people always say, you should know what you're talking about, tarot. I'm like, no, it's not cut and dry. It's not very clear. So we actually don't know if that fish is real or imaginary in his mind. It might also be his pet. Some people believe that as well. But what I believe is it's something that you need to grab onto. It doesn't matter if it's real or fake and imaginary. It's like part of your dream. And we also have that right here. these 10 cups are above these people's heads, and those, they need to bring that dream down to earth. With the Nine of Wands here, you have the snake. Everybody's had the snake this week, I'm pretty sure, or this month. And so I would be careful of sneaky people and, all that other stuff. So, I would just be careful. I wouldn't be worried about this, but I would just be careful of it. Yeah, with the star, you have the devil. This is not a real Lenormand card. This deck has some oracle cards in it. And the devil is kind of about materialism, just same with the tarot card. It's very similar. So I would be careful of any devil-like characters in your life. And I would also be careful, I would be careful of getting caught up in materialism. It's not that you would here, Taurus, but again, I kind of am getting this more as a future fear, maybe you're into knitting and you could be there's no way I can make a full-time living be knitting. But it's that is a form of getting caught up in materialism because you are kind of discounting your own skills. And you're also too worried that your passion won't turn into money. But I guarantee you there are probably people on YouTube that make tons of money with knitting. So, it's it doesn't matter what it is. I would just get started. With the Page of Cups, you have this photography card. Again, another card that's an oracle card in this deck. It says the past memories, the past returning. Again, this could be a toxic person from the past. We have Venus going retrograde. Venus retrograde can bring people back from the past. So, definitely something I would pay attention to here. Don't get caught up, with a past person is what I would say. Next, you have this card that says, when you feel the magic sing. You also have this card that says, if you hear a Sasquatch sigh. So there you go. That seems a little magical to me. I'm getting Dreamtime vibes going on here. So some of you could be being guided in your dreams. I even think your path is being illuminated to you. It's look at this path coming from its head right there, right? So it's almost your path is being laid out in front of you, and I feel you're going to be following in some footsteps here, literally. And so, again, I would, keep pushing here is what I would say to you. I also feel that I do feel you're being, I feel there's a certain calling that you need to answer here, and it's something that you do. You have the Knight of Cups, the Moon, and the Ten of Cups. Again, definitely could be love coming in for you. Again, I like I always tell people, I think Venus retrograde is a good time for love. I know some astrologers say don't date during Venus retrograde, but personally, I believe you can meet the love of your life during Venus retrograde. I also encourage people to date, even if it doesn't work out. I know, shocker, unbelievable, right? But what I would say is, if something's not going to work out, it's not going to work out right away with Venus retrograde. As in, if you start dating a person, it won't go, if it's not meant to work, it won't go past, the 3 months basically, from the end of this month till September 3rd, July 22nd to September 3rd, I should say. It won't go past that point if it is not meant to work. So you're actually saving yourself time. I'd rather date a person for a short period of time and get it over and done with instead of wasting years and years and years on a person, right? So again, Venus retrograde, I think, is a great time. If you're interested in a person, go for it. The universe will never prevent us from having something that is meant for us. It doesn't matter what's going on. It doesn't matter if Mercury, Venus, it doesn't matter if your mom is in retrograde. It just doesn't matter. So, I always tell people, live your life. Astrology is not a prison sentence, plain and simple. You have the Moon card here. So it looks to me like you're stepping into the unknown. Especially with that Sasquatch card there. I feel you're willing to follow that journey. It's interesting. This is kind of giving me Moon vibes because it's dark, but there's an illuminated path behind that Sasquatch, And you have this Moon card. The Moon card is darkness, kind of, and there's a path that runs straight down to some mountains which represents an achievement. So maybe you are stepping into the unknown. Again, I really feel the unknown holds all the answers for you, whereas everything you want is, on the other side of the unknown. You have the Ten of Cups here, fortune after difficulty, happiness. I also do feel that there could be someone, if you are looking for love and hoping to have a family, there could be a person coming in for you that you will have a family with. Let's see. With the Knight of Cups, you have the Tower. The Tower in the Lenormand is not like the Tower in the Tarot. It's a card of isolation, but believe it or not, it is also a card of guidance. The Tower stands above the clouds. You have the clouds, down here, and the Tower is something, in the Lenormand that I personally look at as a beacon. It's something that even during confusion, when you are confused in life, there's something that you can still see that you are working towards. So it's kind of a little bit of guidance. And this last row seems to be a kind of a row of your path. It's illumination, like I was saying earlier. You have this mountain card. The mountain in the Lenormand represents like obstacles to be overcome. I always say, where do you get the best views? At the top of a mountain. Literally, I was talking about the mountains on the moon. So, you need to work towards something that might be a little bit hard to do. I gave you the example of The War of Art, right, by Stephen Pressfield. And so I feel like you need to work towards those hard things. With the Ten of Cups, you have the Garden. Yeah, a lot of people have been getting this card as well. I do feel more people need to like celebrate, have a good time, party. This is a card of like all those things. You have the Ten of Cups here. I really feel the universe is trying to get people to lighten up and, chill out. So, that's what I would say here, Taurus. It's like if you're being too serious, I would like try to find some time to celebrate or have fun with people. We're going to pull 5 main themes from the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. You have this indecision card. I really feel indecision is kind of getting in the way here. Again, too many details. It's like you could be worrying about too many little things. So I would get out of this indecisive energy. Next, you have this power card. I kind of feel like you're taking your power back in a lot of ways. And I also feel, that card is the moon in Scorpio. And so I feel like you're a little bit more embracing mystery, like I said. Yeah, you have this inspiration, the only thing that everyone should pay attention to, but it's showing up in your reading. The only thing we should all be paying attention to is inspiration. Pluto in Aquarius, I believe, will be a very inspiring time. There will be a lot of moments of inspiration where, you could get an inspiring idea. So do it, whatever it is, doesn't matter. I would just move towards inspiration. Next, you have this resourcefulness card. Yeah, I do feel like it's time for you to be resourceful right now or to focus on being resourceful. Everybody. And finally, you have this adaptability card. Yeah, if one way doesn't work, then try something else. Since the eclipse that we had last year in Taurus, I've been, I did those eclipse videos for the eclipse in Taurus, and every single person had either this card or there's a flexibility card, there's a versatility card, there's another card that basically represents the same thing. So I would encourage you to be flexible and, if one way doesn't work, try something else. But pretty interesting reading. I feel like your path is being illuminated. I feel like something is opening up to you. It's almost like you're seeing what you're supposed to be doing, which is great. So clarity. But this looks good. So thank you for being here, Taurus. Really appreciate it. And definitely enjoy your month.